Alright, welcome back to the replay. For those of you
turn left onto Willowbrook Road.
tuning in to the live, welcome. Sorry, trying to pay attention to where I'm driving here. Figuring out how to get out of this parking lot. So we have the Hearse. He is following me. I am driving the
left onto Willowbrook Road, then turn left onto US 51
Apocalypse,
South.
and we are making our way back to Pennsylvania. Morning, Stephanie. Morning, Jenny. So right now it's just me. If you guys, I don't know if you heard, but right now it's just me and the Apocalypse. We have the Hearse. He is following me in it. He does not want me to show it yet. So you'll have to wait for his reveal.
Turn left onto US 51 South.
And we're in Illinois right now. We made it back to Illinois so far.
1,000 feet. Slight right sign
We actually just left Denny's, where we stopped and got breakfast on Monday morning. We stopped and got breakfast there again too. So we got to go through Chicago yet. That's about an hour and a half from us, so that's going to be fun. And then hopefully probably stop and take a break once we get through Chicago, or at least back into Indiana. But just wanted to give you guys an update, let you know that we're heading back, and so far so good. Everything's good. We did have one little minor issue so far with the Hearse. We stopped to get fuel, and he jumped in to start it up, and it wouldn't start. Everything was completely dead. So I checked the battery connections, and they were loose. Tightened them up, fired right up, on our way. So far, simple, easy. No worries. Back on the road.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-39 South, I-90 East.
Hi, Carol Ann. So I probably won't stay on too long unless we get into some good conversations. Then maybe I will. Help me get through Chicago. Like I said, it's an hour and a half away, so we got time to figure that out. We could, but it would add an hour and a half time to our drive. I mean, we're already looking at, if we drive straight through, we're gonna play it by ear, see how we feel. Since we're both driving this time, different separate vehicles, we're gonna play it by ear and see how it goes, as to how far we can actually get. If we need to stop and actually get a room and sleep for a little bit, we're gonna do that. But right now it's showing we won't be back to his house until a little after 11 o'clock Eastern. And we're still in Central Time right now until we get to Indiana. Then we'll hit the time zone. Hi, Christine. Trying to get the cruise control set here. This cruise control is spoiling me. It doesn't work in my truck. Yeah, well, we left at 5 o'clock this morning. We were up at 4 o'clock and got on the road at 5 o'clock, so. It's going to be a long drive. Right now it's saying 11 hours and 49 minutes, so. But we do like I said, we're planning on stopping whenever we need to get out and stretch and rest and go to the bathroom, things like that. So time warp. Well, speed limits are higher out here than Pennsylvania, so taking advantage of that. Yeah, right. 88. It's a science experiment. Well, that's the thing. Once I get back to his house, I still have an hour drive to get home myself, so. So I'm probably not going to be home until 1 o'clock in the morning at this point. But make it work. I've done worse trips. I mean, this is probably the longest in a while. Nah, maybe not. I mean, it's been... Nashville was a long drive for me, but I did stop and get sleep on the way down there. So, probably about the same time frame as this. Maybe a little longer. But that trip was a work trip quite a few years ago where I actually left the night before, stopped in Virginia, and slept for the night, and then continued on in the morning from there and drove the rest of the way down from there on a Saturday. Yeah. There's a flux capacitor. No turbo though, that's only in my truck. Yeah, like I said, we'll see. We'll see what we do. I mean, if we end up stopping and just getting some sleep, well, then I should be fine. Yeah, I saw a couple, not as many as I thought, but I did see a couple triple piggybackers, and then I also saw quite a few of the double 53-footers too, because I actually showed that to Alan. He's never seen that before. Because out this way they pull tandem 53-footers because it's all flat. Not so much in this state that I've seen. We're in Illinois now, so we've already gone through Wisconsin. But I know Ohio and Indiana. I saw them in Indiana the other morning when we were driving through the night. Yeah, or a mini road train, I guess. Not like Australia where they have like 5 trailers that they actually call them road trains. My ugly mug for a minute. Oh, really? With mountains? Well, are they full-size tandems or the short tandems? Because I know in Pennsylvania they're not allowed to pull triples of the short ones, and they're not allowed to. Not allowed to pull the double 53-footers. So I think once they get to a certain point in Ohio where it starts to get hilly and mountainy, they have to drop a trailer. Oh yeah, I got everything in here. You know, he's got all the room, but I got all the stuff. We just didn't feel. We just wanted to get on the road and go. We didn't feel like switching stuff over and worrying about it. So just like, let's just go. It's pretty much how it's been the whole trip. It was like when we left Sunday, we left. Originally, we had planned on, he wanted to leave at midnight. Then I said something about 10 o'clock because I looked at the time frame of when it would have put us into Chicago in the morning, and it would have put us into Chicago at rush hour. So I said, let's leave at 10. That way we can beat Chicago rush hour. And then we switched it to 8. And then I was there. We were just kind of like waiting, and it was like 6 o'clock. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go. So we left. So we got that's why we were so far ahead of schedule on the way out, because we left 4 hours earlier than we originally planned. So that made it nice, because we had plenty of time for rest stops and stuff like that. Because check-in was at 3. We did end up getting to check-in early. So once we checked in, we both kind of like crashed for a little bit, and like, I don't know, like an hour and a half, something like that, and then got up, went and got something to eat, and then just hung out and waited for the gentleman to get home to go get the car. So now we don't have walkies, we got cell phones. That was another thing I had to laugh about, because he was saying something about, oh, just watch, if anything happens, you know, I'll flash my lights at you or whatever. I'm like, dude, you got a cell phone, just call me. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. The walkies probably would have been good. Ooh, 67. 66 is my favorite year. 65, 66. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, CBs definitely would have been good, since not a lot of people use them anymore, so we wouldn't have to worry about anybody else interfering with our conversations. I almost had a 65 Mustang as my first car, but I was 13 at the time, and when we went to look at it, it was completely rotted out. Like, it would have needed a lot of work, and you know, I would have been, of course, back then, still kicked myself in the butt for not getting it, because they only wanted $500 for it back then. So, you know, you can't find a Mustang for $500 anymore that old. But like I said, it was in really rough shape, so it would have needed pretty much a full restoration, and would have been a lot of money that I didn't have back then. And you know, I barely scraped up to come up with the $500 to buy it. So I wasn't, you know, I was 13 years old, I wasn't working. So it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. Maybe someday I'll have one. Yeah, that's how I drive blue. Like 2-foot blue. Because of the carburetor, I gotta, when it's cold anyway, I gotta have 1 foot on the gas and one foot for the brakes. But once it warms up, I can go back to 1 foot. Unless you're talking about stick shift, then yeah, 2 foot. I had a friend that had a 73 and a 74 Mercury Comets. It was the same thing as the Mavericks, basically, but rarer, apparently. The 73 was a 2-door, and the 74 was a 4-door. Mine has a vacuum choke in it, so it's all in the how many times you pump the gas pedal. Not a manual choke, but I could put a manual choke on it if I wanted to, but I choose not to because my 76 that I have, that has a manual choke, and the guy told me when I bought it that over the years of, because it was a company truck, of guys using the choke and leaving the choke out too long to let it idle to warm up, it would send too much gas down in the engine, and it washed the cylinders down, and eventually blew the engine, and they had to swap out engines. Yeah, yep, I'm behind the controls of the apocalypse right now. Alan's following me in the Hearse, but he doesn't want me to show it yet, so. But if you're just tuning in, Jamie, we're in Illinois right now, or Chicago bound, probably about an hour from Chicago, making our way back. Hi, Elizabeth. It's just me right now. I'm by myself. He's in the other car following, so, but if he can catch you in the replay, and yeah, unless he has it going, I don't know. I told him I was going live, so we just left a Denny's. We stopped for breakfast. Yep, everything's good. Like I said a little earlier, we did have one little minor issue with it where we stopped to get gas, and he jumped in it to start it to go, and everything was dead. There's no lights, no nothing, and I checked the battery terminals and they were loose, so I just tightened them up and fired right up, and on the road we got, so all is good. Thing, he says it cruises nice. It's getting probably the same, if not better, fuel mileage than the Mustang, because it's got the North Star engine in it. Which I probably shouldn't have said that, but oh well. Oops. So he's happy with it. He's enjoying it. Of course, then again, he did put all those teasers on there, so I'm sure you guys already figured out what it is. No, we're just trying to get back. I mean, no sightseeing, unfortunately. It just was a quick go get it, get back deal. So if it was me personally and I could have done it myself with my truck and a trailer, then yeah, I would have planned stuff out and actually, took the time to go check places out. And like Jamie suggested one museum to us last night, but that's like 4 hours in the opposite direction from us, so would have been neat to go see that GG1 though, because then I started looking up where all the other GG1s are that they kept. There's like 4 of them out this way. There's like 2 in Indiana, 2 in Illinois. It's like crazy how many are out here. So far, he's not really getting too many looks. I mean, where he parked it last night in the parking lot at the hotel, nobody parked next to it. Both sides he was worried about somebody parking next to it and like smacking their door against it, but we could see it from the room window, and both parking spots on either side of it were empty all night. And then the Mustang, or the Apocalypse, was in, they have a parking garage, so that was in the parking garage in its own little corner, so nobody would mess around with it there. Only for what? there's one in Dallas. If you Google it and go to Wikipedia, it has a breakdown and a list of what was preserved and what their locomotive numbers were, what they were after Pennsylvania. Like some of them went Pennsylvania to Penn Central, to a couple of them went to Conrail, and then Amtrak, and then New Jersey Transit or whatever. And it gives you the breakdown, and it tells you where they're at. I think Baltimore has 2. The museum in Strasbourg has 2. Actually, Baltimore has 1. Oh no, they do have 2. That's right. They got one inside and one outside. Morning, Laura. No, it's not Adam, it's Alan, but he's not with me at the moment. He's in the other car, so. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that was neat seeing that, and then doing the research on it after when I was doing the video for it. I had no idea when I was standing next to it that was the first one, the prototype, and that it stayed in service, that they still used it. They didn't, plus it was the only one that wore Conrail blue, and it wore the bicentennial red, white, and blue in '76. That was the only one to wear that as well. So a nice little tribute to that. Because actually I found a picture of it when Strasbourg first got it. It was still Conrail blue. It still had Conrail on it. So they actually had the Strasbourg Railroad painted black. Yeah, don't they have 2 of them there though? Don't they have the one inside that's restored? Or was it? No, maybe it was somewhere else. Because there's a couple of them that have 2 of them. Like there's 2 of them in New York, I think. There's 2 of them in New Jersey. The one museum in New Jersey has 2 of them. So I don't know if they got 2 to use one for parts to make the other one good, like to make one good out of the 2, or what the plan was, or they just got 2 of them. One of them says that the Henry Ford purchased it, but it's in New York. So I don't know if that's going to end up out at the Henry Ford Museum in Detroit at some point. Yep, he's got it. He's following me in it, and I'm not allowed to show it right now, so we gotta wait for his reveal video. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm probably mixing them up of which ones, because I read everything the other night and I was half asleep, so. Trying to remember all that information when you're half asleep is like, yeah, Boone, New Jersey, yep. Yeah, you know what. Yeah, sore subject. Yeah, that's right. Yep, you're right. Which I saw that, read that the other day too, because that was interesting how they, because of Dwight D. Eisenhower's inauguration coming up like 2 days after that, instead of them taking it out, they cleared out all the rail cars, rebuilt the floor over top of it, left it there in the basement. And then rebuilt the newsstand and the watchman's room there, and then yeah, that way when the passengers came in for the inauguration, they were able to walk right over top of it. They had no idea it was below it. They would like couldn't even tell that there was a crash there. And then once it was done, they took the floor out and then cut it in 3 pieces, took it out, and sent it to Altoona to be rebuilt. Yeah, I think it was the first or quickest live broadcast newscast, I think, too. No, we're not going through Iowa. We're in Illinois right now, coming down towards, we're heading towards Chicago, and then we'll be going through Chicago into Indiana, and then Ohio, and back to Pennsylvania. I don't know what kind of mods he has on this thing. I know he did do some mods to it, but I don't know what he has done to it. Yeah, that'd be nice, Jamie. Be good to see that one restored. Definitely has some history and worthwhile keeping, especially with the story of the crash. As far as I know, that's the only one that had a crash, too. And it was from a faulty check valve handle on one of the New Haven cars that it was pulling. It contacted the frame and it closed it, so only the brakes on the first 3 cars were working, and there was like 15 or 16 cars that it was pulling, and that's why it crashed. It oversped, couldn't slow down, there wasn't enough braking power to stop it. And the movie Silver Streak, that's where they got the idea for the movie Silver Streak, for the crash of that train going into the Union Station in Chicago. I had a couple Mustangs. I had Fox bodies, though. I had an 87 LX with both had the 4-cylinder, the 2.3 liter in them, but the first one was a notchback, so it had the trunk, and then the second one was a 92 with hatchback, same thing, 4-cylinder, both automatics. They were both blue, but the 87 had a blue interior and the 92 had a gray interior. It was a good little, sporty, fun, fuel-saving car. It wasn't anything special, obviously, because of being a 4-cylinder, but it was just fun to drive. I thought it was cool to drive. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, they can stop. It just takes a while. Takes a long distance and a lot. Slow down for him at the toll booth because he doesn't have a easy pass in that, so he's got to stop and.
Quarter mile, merge onto I-90 East.
Okay, never mind. He's just gonna run it. Yeah, well, whatever. Thought it was cool, Jamie. He liked it. I mean, I'm not an SUV kind of guy, and I just don't see a Mustang being an SUV personally myself, but I don't like it. Not yet, but we'll see if we can find one alongside the road and throw it in there. If it makes you feel better, Scott. No, there's no dead body in the car. It's kind of interesting because the Denny's that we stopped at on Monday, our server, we were telling her about what we were doing, a road tripping to go get it, and the Halloween factor and all that. And she started telling us about how they had a customer come in there, like, I don't know, like a year or two ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, but they had a customer come in to eat lunch there that had been driving back and forth out on the highway, killed his girlfriend, and was trying to figure out, that's why he was driving back and forth, because he was trying to figure out where to dump her off at. And then came in there to have lunch. Like, but they got him on camera. I guess they're cameras that they have. Oh, he's gonna sneak around me. I guess he wants to show it off. Okay, here you go. Here's your first reveal. Look to your left. There she is. I was not expecting that. Okay, so that's why he told me not to show it off yet, because I was going to use a picture for the thumbnail. There you go. It's blue. It's dark blue. It's a really pretty color blue. There you go. There's your sneak peek. Yeah, it's really decent shape. It's got a couple rust spots that need to be, issues that need to be taken care of. But for a Minnesota car, even the underneath, it was undercoated, so it's really solid underneath. So it's in really good shape. But you figure, you know, a car like that, when it's not in use, it's parked in a garage. So, and then when it gets used, it gets cleaned, and when they're done using it, they clean it and put it back in the garage. So, but I guess the guy that we picked it up from, he was the third owner. So there was another gentleman that he bought it from that drove it as like a, you know, I guess he would take his kids around the neighborhood and they would hand out candy out of it, and then he would drive it to work, drop the kids off and then drive it to work. No, I don't think he forgot. Maybe that was just his way of, you know, I thought he was going to wait until he did his video, but we haven't really been videoing much. We've just been, that's why I've been doing the live streams. That way you guys can see it, our journey and trip through the live streams, because other than having my Osmo Action on the dash right now, I haven't done any filming. Yep, it's the real deal. It's a pimp hearse, yeah. It's like a presidential limo hearse. Darn near. It even has the guy was showing us, there's a button underneath the ashtray that he said that he was driving around. He didn't know what the button was for. So he was driving around, he was hitting the button, turning it on and off, and then didn't realize what it was. And he said he drove for like, I don't know, like 14, 15 miles. Here it was the button to make the headlights wig-wag back and forth. So he was driving for 15 miles with the wig-wags on. So it has the headlight flashers in it. Another button that he just found while we were at the Denny's. It looks like one of those yellow trunk release buttons that would be in the glove box, and he's afraid to hit it. He wants to wait until we get home. He doesn't know what it does. He's like afraid that it's gonna like shut the car off and not be able to start it again. So yeah, you could do that. Yep, now I see him in the rearview mirror again. Another thing too, it's got 8-lug wheels on it, like a 3/4 ton truck. So it's got like 3/4 ton or 1 ton hubs on it. So I guess, I don't know if that's because of the weight of the car, because, you know, Hearses are pretty heavy, so I'm assuming it probably has the same with the brakes and stuff, that it's got the heavier duty brake package on it, because he says that it doesn't really stop that easy. So I gotta keep that in mind if I gotta jab on the brakes, if he's too close, to make sure that I speed up before I jab on the brakes. Give him room. And give him ample warning of exits too, so that way he's prepared and can start slowing down. People be heavy, yeah. Starting to rain. never been out here before, so he never realized how flat it is out this way. And he actually said last night when before we got to the hotel, as we were driving through Minnesota, other than crossing the Mississippi and coming up the bluff there from the Mississippi, he goes, man, it's really boring around here. There's nothing to look at. It's nothing but farmland, and like there's some cows, and that's it. I'm like, yeah, that's how it is out here. It's a lot of open space. Me personally, I think it's beautiful. I love it. I love being able to see the sunset and the sunrise, and it's just incredible. I mean, I'm so used to mountains and hills and trees of Pennsylvania, that you come out here, it's just a nice change of scenery. Rochester, Minnesota. Yeah, I've never been that far out west yet, Jamie. Now, I guess officially Minnesota is the furthest west I've been, because I've been to Iowa, but river, so it really didn't go that far into Iowa. Nice. Yeah, when we got to the hotel, I was looking around to see if there was any hobby shops close by, just to have something to do. And there was one close by that was a couple minutes away that was closed and didn't open until Wednesday. So I was like, well, that's out. And then the next one was 72 miles away outside of Minneapolis. And there was like a bunch of them up there. Like, I go to him, I was like, well, there's some about a little over an hour away. And he's like, nope, we're taking a nap. And I was like, yep, I agree. One thing to go 5 minutes down the road, but to go an hour just to go look at trains and stuff, like after driving 17 hours, Yeah, I remember the cornfields. A lot of Illinois, driving through Illinois to get to Iowa was the same way. It was like literally you drive down this 2-lane road and you had cornfields on both sides of you, and you get to an intersection and you go for miles and miles and miles and miles, and you get to an intersection with a 4-way stop, and you'd look left and you'd see the same thing for miles and miles and miles. You'd look right, you'd see the same thing for miles and miles and miles, and you go straight, and it's like the same thing again. And then you get to a little clearing, and then you see a little town, like a sign with a town name, and it says population 50. And you like blink your eye and you throw it and you're back in the cornfields. But yeah, it's, like I said, I don't mind. I'm not one to complain or say, this is my favorite or that isn't. It's just, I'm not a big city person, let's just call it that. So anything out in the country that's open, I'll take it. Corn and trucks, that's right. morning, Stanton. Welcome. We are currently in Illinois. You missed the reveal. It's a boy. It's blue. We're currently in Illinois, heading towards Chicago. We're making our way back to Pennsylvania. It's all good. Glad you can stop by and say hi anyway. We all have those moments. It's like watching videos and then somebody pops on live and it's like, oh, well, let me finish this video first. Like I'm halfway through it. Yeah, it's kind of drizzling here right now, but we did get a heads up on that. We checked the weather and stuff, and it said it was going to be raining pretty much all the way to Ohio, so at least. But Pennsylvania should be dry, hopefully, because that's out here. I don't mind the rain driving, but once you get back to Pennsylvania with the mountains and the hills and the turns and it's different, completely different. Is it, Jamie? Awesome. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like when we walked to the restaurant for dinner last night, or not dinner, but like late lunch, I guess you would call it, before we actually crashed out and took a nap. I was in a t-shirt, and it was a little chilly for that, but I was okay. Like I wasn't freezing, because I left my sweatshirt in the car, so we ended up walking because we didn't want to lose our parking spot in the parking garage. Because I was like, as soon as we pull out of that parking spot, we're going to leave and somebody's going to come in and take that spot. So, which ended up happening when we went to go get the Hearse. So it was like the perfect spot too, because it was like we were backed in and you were looking at the door to go inside and up the steps. So it was like right there, perfectly convenient. But the parking garage we were in wasn't really all that big. But you did have that one guy who had a Ford Raptor in there, and he had it parked in 3 spots, so nobody would park next to him. Which, if I would have been that guy with the Super Duty to squeeze in right next to him. Right now, I just can't wait to get through Chicago. I'm just like dreading driving through Chicago, because when we drove through there the other morning, I mean, there were people flying through there. I forget what the speed limit is. I think it was like 50, 55, and they had to have been doing 80 plus, and they were just passing us left and right, cutting us off. It's like, oh my God. So I just don't understand why people have to drive like that, but it's whatever. Can't do nothing about it. Just gotta be careful and yeah. Now it's Silver Bullet. We're not going with the Diet Coke can anymore. It was originally named Silver Bullet. That was just a joke because of the red doors, but like I've driven through New York City, I've driven through Philadelphia, I've driven through Nashville. I've driven through some cities, but Chicago, I think, had to be the worst. And that was at like 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning, or, between 1 and 2 in the morning. So I was glad that we hit it when we did, and not at rush hour. But I checked a little bit ago, and I always like to check Google Maps just to make sure that it's not all red and orange. And there was only a couple spots where it was red, so it didn't look too bad, so we should be okay. Yes, definitely, I agree with that. Big cities are nerve-wracking to drive through, especially on the interstates. I think the interstates are worse than the actual surface streets at some points. Driven through part of Louisville, Kentucky. Trying to think all the cities I've driven through now. Baltimore. I've driven through Baltimore. DC. Okay, I'm sorry. DC is the absolute worst. DC sucks. I hate driving through DC. I'll take Chicago over DC any day. That's why anytime I go south, I go 81. I stay off of 95. I cannot stand 95. Oh, come on, dude. I'm trying to... Idiot. Truck driver behind me. I'm trying to get... I lost Alan. I'm trying to get us back together, and I moved over to let this truck go by, and he decided to move over behind me, so now he's going to go past me on the right. There he comes. Oh, look, another Mustang. Squirrel moment, or Mustang moment. I've never driven through Atlanta, so I don't know what Atlanta's like driving through. I've heard it's not fun, but I've never driven through Atlanta. I've never been to Georgia, actually, so. Hi, Jennifer. What fins? Oh, those, oh, we're saving you fuel mileage fins? Yeah, I got you. But making you look like the space shuttle? Well, this is the start of Chicago, so here we go. Whale tails, yeah, there you go. You gotta wonder how many drivers actually forgot to fold them in before they opened their doors and smashed the doors into them, or backed up against the dock and forgot to put them in and smashed them on the dock. I might have driven through St. Louis. I know I drove to Texas years and years and years ago. I'm trying to think of how I went down there, because the way I went down, I came from upstate New York, so it was closer to Buffalo when we left. So we came down through Erie, Ohio. I remember going through Arkansas, Kansas. Outskirts like of Nashville, Tennessee. Because I actually somehow made a wrong turn and ended up in Louisiana, and was driving halfway through Louisiana because the person I was with, she was asleep, and then she woke up and she was like, "Where are we?" I was like, "Oh, we're about halfway through Louisiana." And she's like, "We're not supposed to be in Louisiana." I'm like, "Oh, crap." Had to turn around, come all the way back up through Louisiana to go to Texarkana to get into Texas. You know, that was long before GPS. We're on I-90 right now, actually. So should be good. I'm just following the blue line on the GPS. Yeah, I was going the big Atlas. Yep, using the Atlas. But that's what I had when I first started towing, was the county map books and the paper maps. Like I had a 5-county map book for my area. So you go to the back pages, find the cross streets, and it would tell you the map page, and then the location on the map, and you'd find it, and then you'd figure out where you were at and how to get there, on the map. So. I didn't really need the compass. I mean, I got pretty good at reading maps, so. I'm sure it'd be like riding a bike if I probably still have that 5-county map book somewhere. I'm sure I could use it like I used it yesterday. But now you got GPS in your phone. I mean, it's up on my tablet right now, so that's where I'm using it from. Ooh, looks like one of the new F-150s. I got a pretty good sense of direction too, so if I travel, like just for example today, we got to where that Denny's was, and I recognized they were doing construction or putting in crossover ramps, and I recognized that, and I was like, "Ooh, the next exit is at Denny's, we should stop there." So I remembered it, and that's where we ended up stopping to eat again. So. But also, if I travel something enough times, it's pretty much becomes second nature, and I can travel it in my sleep. So, not that I'd be traveling this route in my sleep, but I could remember. Like, I look at landmarks and I remember landmarks. So as I travel, like I'll do that all the time. I'll be going somewhere and I'll be like, "This looks familiar. I've been here before," and then I'll start looking around and looking at things and going, "Yeah, okay, I remember that, and I remember that, and I remember that." So. One day, a while back, like a year ago, Alan and I did that trip where we went over to New Jersey and filmed a bunch of stuff when we did the Amatal Speedway and the drive-in. Well, here I'd already been down that way before, and I was recognizing things. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I've been here before." My job, I was over here all the time. Driving around, going to this customer, that customer, whatever. Yeah, you did, Nick. That's right. I forgot about that. Yep. Oh, I think we got it. No, wait. We gotta go. We gotta go this way. It's like Alan and I joke around all the time. Like he is like so GPS reliant that his description of it is he needs a GPS to find his GPS. I just picked that up as, when I was a little kid. Whenever I go somewhere with my parents or whatever, I would always pay attention to where we were at and look at, I'd be constantly looking out the windows, looking at stuff and seeing what we're passing. And, I just picked up on that, being able to pay attention to your surroundings and pick landmarks and remember them, and just kind of stuck with me. So then later years when I became a tow truck driver, it made it easier for me for remembering how to get around. So there's O'Hare Airport off to my right. Yeah, that one's O'Hare. It was dark the other morning when we came through here, so now I can actually see stuff. Couldn't see it. All we saw were lights before. Got darkness. Yeah, so far so good. Like I said, everything's still in the blue, so I'm happy about that. But I know closer to like the center of Chicago, there was a little bit of red earlier when I checked it. So let's hope it stays blue. I don't want to sit in traffic. I mean, it's only 11:30 right now, so it shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully we beat the lunch rush. I know I drove around Chicago many years before, or ago, I should say, many years ago, and got hit it at the wrong time, and it was like 6 o'clock at night. Boy, was that a mistake. We were crawling. I think it took like 2 hours to get through it all. Yeah, we're playing it by ear, Laura. We're gonna go as far. We're gonna push ourselves as far as we can. If we can make it, we're gonna go all the way. But if we can't, we're gonna just probably stop and get a room and crash for a little bit, get a couple hours of sleep, and then get back on the road. So. high anxiety. Oh, there you go, Nix. Train tracks right to the left. And there's a passenger train going into the station right there. Probably can't see it, but I can. It's right, passing it right now. Oh, yeah, you can see it in the camera. Okay. Yeah, I know. We we found that out. I apparently slept really good last night, so I think I passed out like 10 o'clock and woke up when Alan was, I didn't even hear him get up, which is unusual for me because I can't sleep with noise or light, you know, because I'm used to being in the dark and quiet and by myself. So, but when there was a hide-to-bed couch, so he was folding the hide-to-bed back into the couch, and that's what woke me up. And then I kind of like jumped up out of bed, and I was looking at him. He's already dressed, ready to go. I'm like, holy crap. It's like, wow, how long you been up? He's like, oh, a couple minutes. like he was itching to go, just get on the road. I'm like, where's the snooze button? All right, Nick, have fun, be safe. Of course, you're going through Baltimore while I'm going through Chicago, so perfect timing. Okay, so far, the traffic doesn't seem like the way people are driving right now isn't as bad as it was the other morning when we came through here. Because like I said, there were people just like back and forth. Because I was in the middle lane just like I am now. So they were like back and forth in front of us. They'd be jumping over from the right lane all the way to the left lane and flying, like zigzagging through cars. It was nuts. There's another train. So far I'm impressed. It's not that bad. But I think the closer we get to the city, it's going to get worse. No, where did Alan go? I lost him. Somebody got between us, and they're slowing him down. Adam's in. Hey, Adam. Coming into Chicago right now. I was gonna say, if I wasn't live streaming, I could have just called Alan and told him to put the headlight flashers on and move that car in front of him. Unless you're watching the stream, Alan, or listening to it. Hurry up, get up here. Oh, then he got cut off by another one. That's gonna come flying up on my tail. Oh well, go around me. I'm waiting for the hearse. Yeah, that guy right there. In the Kia. Ooh, a tunnel. Yeah, see, like here again, it's like a shame I don't have time because there's a couple places I wouldn't mind checking out here while I'm here, but like O'Hare Towing, firehouse from the show. What is that show called? Chicago Fire. Duh. And the firehouse from the movie Backdraft.
Right to stay on I-90 East.
Ooh, bridges.
Right to stay on I-90 East. Continue on I-90 East for 3 miles.
Should be seeing the Sears Tower soon. Yes, I am driving behind. I am captaining the apocalypse right now. He is captaining the hearse behind me that just got cut off by a beamer now. You missed it a little earlier. He actually did sneak around me and gave you guys a preview, so check it out in the replay. Alright, I'm just gonna like slow down and wait for him. There you go, there's the city skyline ahead. Reminds me of driving down 95 into Philly. You start to see the skyscrapers off in a distance, and as you get closer, they get taller and taller and taller and taller. There's a Tesla off to the right. How's this work? Okay. Yeah, I've seen the Philly skyline so many times. It's like etched in my memory for life. Between driving through on the Schuylkill, 95 South, 95 North, passing the airport. Yeah, going to the airport to pick people up from the airport. Yeah. Yeah, so far it was pretty good, Adam. I mean, we were ahead of schedule coming out, so we got to the hotel way earlier than expected, which is definitely unusual for me because you know me, I'm late for everything. So we were 4 hours early, or 3 hours early. And we got up at 4 this morning. Got on the road at 5 o'clock, and right now, if we keep driving straight through, we should be back to his house by 11:30 midnight. So we're playing that by ear to see how it goes. If we get tired, we're gonna push as far as we can, at least try to get back to Pennsylvania. And if we get tired, we're just gonna stop, sleep for a little bit, and then get back on the road. If not, we're just gonna push through and keep going. Yeah, I'm sure, Adam. That's seeing Houston. That's gotta. Is that what you said, Houston? Yeah. I'm trying to watch the road. Yeah, that's got to be. I think I've only ever seen that once. Well, twice. Once going to Abilene, and then once coming back from Abilene. Sears Tower off to the right, I believe. Yeah, it's the tallest one. So yeah, it's, I guess, what used to be the Sears Tower. I forget what they call it now. I still call it the Sears Tower. Is that anywhere off of 80, Stanton? Because we're going to be coming across 80. Okay. Alright, well, we'll let you know. I don't know how long it's going to take until we get there, but we'll see. Maybe we can just make that one of our pit stops. As long as you got a bathroom for us to use. I've never been in an O'Reilly's anyway, so I hear commercials for them, which is weird because we don't have any O'Reilly's, but I hear commercials for them all the time on our local radio station, but there's none near us. We have AutoZone and Pep Boys and Advanced Auto and Napa. We used to have a place in town called National Auto Stores, which I worked at part-time years ago. They're still around, they're still in business, but they're Pennsylvania only based company, so they're slowly disappearing. Our local store closed down a couple years ago, but the warehouse is still close by me, so if I ever need anything, I can always just go to the warehouse and buy stuff. Why is this person going so slow? Like, you can go a little faster than that. Unless you're more paranoid than we are. That's better. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on gas. I mean, we're not really letting the tanks go below half a tank, so we usually stop. Like right now, I'm just above a half, so we filled up. I forget how long ago, but it says I got 248 miles till empty, so. And he said the Hearse is doing about the same. It's doing pretty good on fuel economy. And here we go with the traffic jam. Now we're getting into the red. Oh, hey. And I always pick the lane that stops. Alright, well, you know, I think I'm going to, I was going to actually keep you guys going through the city, but I want to keep an eye on the road, so unless you guys can just chat amongst yourselves and I can just watch the road. Yeah, I'll leave you play, so. Mrs. Apocalypse. That's a new one. Well, we're working our way back. We're almost there in about, another day or two. Oh, nice Super Duty. Oh, nice blue Super Duty. I should paint mine that color. Guess who thought of it? Little one? Train. There's the infamous Chicago L. Yeah, you know what, Adam? I'll take this right now as opposed to what we dealt with the other morning driving through here. So, like I said, yeah, we were able to fly right through. We didn't have to worry about stopping, but still, I mean, people were just driving like really ignorant. So, I can take the stop and go, just dealing with traffic for a little bit because it's going to be light. It's starting to lighten up already. It got orange ahead of me and then goes back to blue. So, we should be back to smooth sailing here shortly. Oh look, A-Team food service. Nice. I pay the fool to mess with my food truck. Watch out for that U-Haul. Well, since you're... Hello. Okay, thanks. Almost got... Never mind. Almost got taken out by a rollback. Taken out, sorry. Took. Now I'm gonna... The A-Team just almost took me out. Come get your food. Murdoch's a crazy fool. I'm good at that, just like ad-libbing random words into songs. I'm like horrible with that, I guess I should say. I'll just change the words to the song like that, like nothing. There, killer. And we got somebody between us again. So I can't see him. But he's right behind it, so yeah, I see him. Little transit van behind me. Oh, there we go. Go to the right and go to St. Louis. Honk it if you got it. One got between us? Come on. Yeah, go around me. Badass in a minivan. I want to be just like you when I grow up. Cool guy in a minivan that can fly around other cars. Where is he? Where did he go? Oh, he's right there. Okay. He's catching up. As long as nobody else gets between us. Yeah, he even had his mask look like a soccer mom mask. Let's see, Interstate 90 Express. Stay to the left. All right. Ooh, this is a rough road. Yeah, he's got his phone up, I'm sure, unless he's watching the stream or has the stream playing. So, but he's still following me. He wants to stay close together. We're trying to stay together. So. About to get passed by a Camaro. And just like that, we're out of the traffic. Perfect. I'm good with that. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Exactly. Nice, Adam. Cop bait. Go after the blue one, not the red one. Oh wait, never mind. Don't go after the blue. Go after the Camaro. Don't go after the blue Hearse. Like I said, we're gonna get through this. We're probably gonna stop, take a break, probably get some gas, and get out and stretch and do some jumping jacks. Maybe stand on our heads. I don't know. We'll figure something out. idiot has to come flying past in an Impala.
Take exit 59A, then merge onto I-90 East.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's it.
Continue on I-90 East for half a mile. In half a mile, keep left at the fork to continue on I-90 East. Follow signs for I-90 Skyway East, Indiana Toll Road.
Yeah, right? It got scared and ran away.
Keep left at the fork to continue on I-90 East.
Keep left at the fork. Oh, there goes a metro train.
Continue on I-90 Skyway East.
Yay, smooth sailing, all blue. We out. Bye, Chicago. Oof. That one was a little rough. Well, I just did. Just, not very close though. There's a train yard off to the left here, but you can barely see it. You can see the rail cars. There you go. You can see them to the left there. Alright, let's get past you. Because I want to take the middle lane. Okay, I'm happy now. No more traffic. Hey, I think I've seen some of these neighborhoods on Chicago PD. Stay alert, don't get hurt. Alright, Stan, thanks. Have a good day too. Thanks for stopping in. This, we'll be able probably back in Indiana and find a rest stop. And here we come to the toll booth. Is that a school? Yeah, high school. It's a big high school. Well, of course, it's Chicago. Oh, it's a vocational school, too. Huh. Parking accepted. He's got to pay cash, so I got to wait for him for a minute. Oh, really, Jamie? And we're on the move again. Pretty cool old steel truss bridge up here. Carol Ann's leaving. Bye, Carol Ann. Thanks for stopping in. If I missed anybody else who left, I'm sorry about that. More paying attention to the road than anything. Got rivets. Well, you can see it, but off to the left is the lake. I forget what lake that is, but it's one of the Great Lakes to the left. Looks like the ocean is so big. It's like, wow. Bump. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna cut it off here. So I want to thank you all for watching, riding along with us through Chicago, and hopefully you enjoyed that. So thanks again for everything, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.